The more you cultivate a grounded, self-assured energy, the more you begin to see that what you attract aligns with your frequency, not your desperation. It's in this space of alignment that you stop giving your energy to people who aren't worthy of it. When your energy is clean and clear, it becomes a filter. Only those who can match it are allowed in. Those who are not aligned with your vibration will naturally fall away. You no longer need to chase after anyone's attention, and you no longer tolerate anyone who doesn't respect your energy. Your energy becomes your boundary, your protection, and your magnetism. By becoming aware of the energy you emit and learning how to guard it, you begin to shift how you experience every moment of life. You stop reacting to external circumstances and start creating from within. You are no longer a victim of your environment, but a creator of your reality. When you master your energy, you begin to attract from a place of abundance and inner peace. Self-worth is not something that can be earned through the approval or attention of others. It's a recognition of your own inherent value, independent of external validation. Too many people base their self-worth on what others think, how much attention they receive, or how much they're needed. This constant seeking of approval can be draining and destabilizing, creating a cycle of chasing and performing for love and recognition. But when you start to realize that your self-worth is innate, untouchable, and cannot be negotiated, everything changes. When you truly understand your worth, you no longer need to seek out validation. Your self-worth becomes a quiet confidence that emanates from within. It's reflected in how you carry yourself, how you set boundaries, and how you choose to spend your time and energy. It's about not needing anyone's approval to feel whole. A woman who knows her worth doesn't beg for attention, doesn't tolerate mistreatment, and doesn't bend herself to fit someone else's standards. She understands that her value is not contingent on someone else's recognition. This level of self-assurance attracts the right people into your life. When you are aligned with your own worth, you stop tolerating relationships that diminish you, and instead you attract those that uplift, support, and honor you. You no longer chase love because you understand that love, respect, and care are things that naturally flow when you are in a place of self-respect. You don't have to demand it or seek it desperately. It comes to you effortlessly when you are vibrating at a level that honors your worth. This recognition of self-worth also shifts how you approach challenges, setbacks, and difficult situations. You no longer feel as though you are at the mercy of external forces or other people's actions. Your internal foundation is unshakable because you are rooted in the knowledge that you are enough, just as you are. Your self-worth is your anchor, and when you cultivate it, it becomes the lens through which you see the world and interact with it. Attraction is a force that is felt on an energetic level, not just a physical one. It's the magnetic pull between two people, but it's not something that can be manufactured by effort or manipulation. It's a natural, authentic connection that occurs when two energies align in harmony. For a woman who has mastered emotional detachment, attraction becomes less about doing and more about being. When you no longer seek approval or validation from others, your energy shifts. You stop trying to impress or chase and instead allow your authentic self to shine through. This is when the true magnetic energy begins to work its magic. When you are emotionally detached, it doesn't mean that you no longer care. It means that you no longer need to rely on external factors to define your sense of self-worth. You understand that your value isn't dependent on someone else's attention, approval, or affection. This creates a sense of freedom. You stop looking outward for affirmation and start looking inward, trusting that your energy alone is enough. And this is where the magnetism comes from, the simple, unshakable truth that you are already whole. Men and people in general are attracted as energy. Odds? It's not about playing games or pretending to be something you're not. It's about fully embracing who you are without needing anyone else to complete you. This level of self-acceptance creates a sense of depth and confidence that draws others in. People feel safe around you because you are grounded in your own self-worth and do not need to prove anything. When you stop performing and chasing, the attraction becomes effortless. It's in your presence, your confidence, and the energy you exude. You become a reflection of the authenticity and emotional sovereignty you've cultivated. As you align with your true self, you begin to experience a shift in how others respond to you. They are no longer pulled in by the neediness or energy of desperation, but are instead drawn to the quiet power of someone who understands her own value. Boundaries are the invisible lines that preserve your energy, your peace, and your emotional well-being. They are not about shutting people out. They are about protecting your space, your time, and your resources. When you're emotionally detached, you learn to set boundaries from a place of self-respect rather than fear or anger. It's not about creating walls between yourself and others, but about knowing where you end and where others begin. When you have clear boundaries, you no longer feel the need to constantly explain yourself or justify your decisions. You know who you are and you know what you are willing to accept. This inner clarity enables you to navigate relationships with confidence, because you are not swayed by the opinions or actions of others. Boundaries become a reflection of your inner self-respect. They allow you to engage with others from a place of strength, rather than insecurity. Emotionally detached women understand that setting boundaries is not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about knowing your limits and communicating them with kindness and clarity. You're not afraid to say a no when something doesn't align with your values, because you understand that saying a no is a form of self-care, not rejection. You are able to hold your ground without feeling guilty or needing to explain yourself, because your peace is non-negotiable. This also extends to how you handle people's behavior toward you. When you set boundaries, you create a clear energetic field around yourself. People can no longer walk all over you, manipulate you, or impose their needs on you. They sense the strength in your energy and respect it, because you have made it clear what is acceptable and what is not. Your boundaries serve as an invitation for others to meet you at your level of emotional maturity. And if they can't, they naturally fall away. By setting these clear boundaries, you no longer waste your energy on situations that drain or deplete you. Instead, you create space for the right relationships, where mutual respect and understanding can thrive. Boundaries allow you to stay grounded in your truth, making sure that you only engage in situations and with people that honor who you truly are. Emotional detachment is not about shutting yourself off from emotions or becoming cold and distant. It's about gaining control over your emotional responses and learning to observe your feelings without being controlled by them. When you practice emotional detachment, you stop allowing your emotions to dictate your actions or reactions. You no longer act from a place of fear, insecurity, or need. Instead, you are able to respond to situations and people from a place of clarity, grounded in your sense of self. A woman who is emotionally detached is not consumed by the drama of others. She doesn't engage in unnecessary emotional exchanges, and she doesn't get caught up in other people's problems or moods. She remains centered in herself, understanding that her peace and emotional well-being are non-negotiable. She's able to recognize her emotions as valid but doesn't let them overpower her. Instead, she acknowledges them, processes them, and moves forward. This emotional control is incredibly attractive because it signals to others that you are grounded, stable, and self-sufficient. When you are not emotionally reactive, you appear more composed, confident, and resilient. This is a direct contrast to the neediness and insecurity that often accompany emotional dependency. You no longer rely on others for emotional regulation or validation. You are the source of your own inner peace, and this autonomy becomes magnetic. Emotional detachment allows you to see situations clearly without being clouded by emotional biases or impulsive reactions. It enables you to engage in relationships from a place of self-respect, knowing that your emotions do not need to be validated or constantly managed by someone else. This doesn't mean you are less empathetic or compassionate. In fact, it means you are more able to offer true compassion, as you are no longer overwhelmed by emotional turbulence. You can give to others from a place of abundance, rather than from a place of emotional depletion. As you detach emotionally, you begin to attract healthier, more balanced relationships. People are drawn to you because you are not chasing after them with emotional neediness. Instead, you draw them in with your calm, your clarity, and your ability to remain true to yourself in all circumstances. Confidence is the foundation upon which everything else in life is built. When you become emotionally detached, you access a deep sense of self-assurance that is unshakable. You no longer need to prove yourself to anyone or seek external validation to feel good. about who you are. Your worth is not contingent on someone else's approval, and this frees you from the cycle of constantly chasing after others' attention. Confidence is not about arrogance or pretending to be something you're not. It's about being grounded in who you truly are and knowing your value regardless of external circumstances. This level of confidence emanates from within, and it influences every area of your life. When you stop emotionally reacting to situations, you begin to act from a place of inner strength. You no longer get caught up in drama, insecurity, or fear. Instead, you face challenges with clarity and calm, knowing that you have everything you need within you to handle whatever comes your way. You trust in your ability to navigate life with grace and poise, regardless of what others think or how they behave. As your confidence grows, others begin to sense it. They feel the strength in your energy and are drawn to it. People are naturally attracted to those who are emotionally self-sufficient because there is a certain magnetism that comes with not needing anything from them. You stop seeking validation and instead start attracting those who are aligned with your energy. This confidence allows you to set clear boundaries and stay true to your values, making it easier to engage in relationships that honor who you are. When you are emotionally detached and confident, you stop playing games or trying to manipulate situations to get the outcome you want. You simply show up as yourself, authentically, unapologetically, and without fear of judgment. This is where true power lies, in being so secure in your own worth that you no longer need to chase anything or anyone. You allow things to come to you, and in doing so, you become magnetic to the right opportunities and the right people. Emotional detachment creates the space for personal power. When you stop reacting emotionally to every situation or person in your life, you open yourself up to a deeper level of self-control and autonomy. Your thoughts, behaviors, and decisions no longer rely on the external circumstances or emotional cues of others. Or, instead, you cultivate the ability to choose how you respond, giving you full control over your actions. This shift allows you to respond with clarity and intention rather than being at the mercy of your immediate emotions or external pressures. When you begin to detach emotionally, you stop engaging in cycles of overthinking, stress, or emotional turbulence. You understand that emotions are just temporary states, not permanent truths. By seeing them as such, you give yourself the ability to process and move forward rather than becoming stuck in a reactive pattern. Your inner world becomes calm and clear, unaffected by the drama, opinions, or behaviors of others. This emotional stability makes you unshakable in the face of challenges. This power is magnetic. People are drawn to your energy because they sense your emotional independence and strength. They are no longer able to manipulate or control your reactions because you no longer seek their approval or validation. You've created a space within yourself that is whole, where you are the only one responsible for your peace and emotional well-being. You begin to attract people and situations that match this energy of calm, centered self-assurance. By maintaining emotional detachment, you preserve your mental and emotional energy for what truly matters. You are no longer distracted by external chaos or trying to fit into other people's expectations. Instead, you invest that energy into yourself, your personal growth, and the things that align with your values and vision. This clarity and self-awareness become the foundation for every decision you make, allowing you to create the life you truly desire without relying on anyone else to dictate your happiness or success. When you become emotionally detached, you learn the profound art of being present in your own life. Too often, people are caught up in worrying about the future or dwelling on the past, which prevents them from fully experiencing the moment they're in. This emotional detachment is not about avoiding emotions or disconnecting from others. It's about learning to experience each moment without allowing your emotional state to control your actions. By practicing presence, you stop letting your feelings dictate your responses, and you start making conscious, intentional choices. Being present in your own life means that you are fully engaged in your own reality, regardless of what others are doing or what external factors are influencing you. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding thoughtfully. You become aware of your thoughts and emotions, acknowledging them without becoming overwhelmed by them. This level of awareness allows you to be intentional with your energy, directing it toward the things that truly matter. As you practice emotional detachment, you also begin to create the space to observe situations with clarity. When you are emotionally detached, you don't get lost in the emotional charge of any situation. Instead, you approach challenges, people, and experiences with a calm perspective, which allows you to make decisions based on logic, not emotional impulse. This ability to stay centered in the present moment gives you the freedom to act from your highest self, free from fear, doubt, or neediness. Being present doesn't mean that you cut yourself off from people or experiences. It means you engage fully without losing yourself in the process. You stop allowing others' behaviors or expectations to pull you out of your own sense of self. You become the observer of your life, not the reactor. This detachment creates a powerful sense of inner peace and strength, as you stop relying on external validation and instead learn to find contentment and clarity within. You become the creator of your own reality, no longer controlled by outside forces. When you stop being emotionally reactive, you open the door to an entirely new way of relating to the world around you. Instead of constantly seeking outside approval, validation, or attention, you start to operate from a place of inner security and self-sufficiency. This shift in how you engage with the world brings a sense of freedom. You no longer feel the need to chase after people or situations that don't serve your highest good. Instead, you become more selective, understanding that your time, energy, and presence are valuable. This self-awareness transforms the way you show up in relationships, at work, and in every interaction. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you shut off your emotions or become distant from others. It simply means you stop allowing your emotions to control your actions. You recognize that your emotional state is a result of your thoughts, and you become the master of your thoughts, not a victim of them. By recognizing this, you can create emotional responses that are in line with your desires, rather than being dictated by external circumstances or other people's behavior. As you detach emotionally, you also stop attaching meaning to things that are outside your control. You no longer take things personally, and you stop making assumptions about people's intentions or actions. This perspective allows you to navigate the world with greater ease, as you no longer feel compelled to defend yourself or prove your worth through others. You become less susceptible to manipulation, drama, or the need to please, and instead, you stand firm in your own sense of self. This shift leads to a profound inner peace where you no longer feel the need to prove anything to anyone. You understand that your worth is inherent and that you are deserving of respect and love simply by being who you are. With emotional detachment, you stop trying to change people or situations, and instead, you create space for what is right for you to naturally come into your life. You become magnetic to those who align with your energy and intentions, and you are able to maintain peace and clarity amidst the chaos of the outside world. When you stop trying to control everything and start to trust in the natural flow of life, you begin to experience a deep sense of surrender and acceptance. Emotional detachment allows you to let go of the need to manipulate or force outcomes. Instead of resisting or trying to control how people act or how situations unfold, you learn to accept things as they are. This acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to negativity. It means releasing the need to control what's outside your control and focusing on what you can control, your own thoughts, emotions, and actions. This sense of surrender brings with it a powerful sense of peace. When you no longer cling to outcomes or try to change others, you are free to experience life with less stress and anxiety. You stop battling with the world around you and start accepting what comes with an open heart. Instead of resisting challenges, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth, learning, and self-discovery. The more you detach emotionally, the more you realize that you do not need to control everything to find fulfillment or success. You begin to understand that everything in life is temporary, including emotional responses. Emotions are signals, not states of being that need to be acted on immediately. By learning to pause and observe, you create space between what you feel and how you act. This space allows you to respond from a place of wisdom rather than from impulse or reactivity. As you detach emotionally, you also stop internalizing other people's behaviors. You no longer take on the weight of others' emotions, opinions, or judgments. You start to see people for who they truly are, without the distortion of your emotional projections. This clarity allows you to engage with others from a place of neutrality, compassion, and understanding. You stop needing to make others feel a certain way or to seek approval from them. Instead, you operate from a place of grounded confidence and inner peace, allowing life to unfold naturally without the burden of emotional attachment to outcomes.